in today's video, I am sharing with you my October favorites. When I post this video, it will be October 31st, so happy Halloween. I'm hoping that you're having a good holiday, spending time with friends, having fun, being safe. Yeah. So I don't have a whole heap, but I do have some favorites that I wanted to share with you. So let's get into it. So the first favorite I have is the foundation that I'm wearing right now. It is somewhat new to me. I got it a couple months ago. I did do a first impressions video on this, and it is the MakeupForever Ultra HD Foundation Stick. I have mine in the shade 125, which is in the old formula Y315. It's just like a foundation stick. You just twist it up and you wipe it on your face and then you blend it out. Anyway, if you haven't seen my first impression video on this, I will link it down below. But in there you can see like the application of it and how it applied and all that stuff. But it is the foundation that I'm wearing on my face right now. And I just really, really like it. I normally don't like stick foundations just because they can tend to be thicker and kind of make me more oily. But this one doesn't. It kind of makes me a little bit on the matte side, which I really appreciate because I can get really oily in my T-zone, especially like throughout the day. But I find that this foundation is just super beautiful. It looks like skin. It doesn't look like I have like caked on foundation. I really, really like it. And I actually really like applying this with a brush as opposed to a beauty blender. Beauty blender or beauty sponges are like my absolute favorite way to apply foundations, but with this, like it's all about the brush. And it's so quick. Like I love it. Like I don't have to spend a bajillion hours trying to blend in my foundation, make it even and all that stuff. Like this is just so stinking quick. I love it. So the brush that I use with this foundation is the Real Techniques buffing brush. It's kind of like a fluffier face brush. And so what I do is I will like prime my face and then I do two stripes, a stripe and a stripe, and then like a little baby on my nose. And then I just take my brush, blend it in, and then I'm done. So love it, absolutely love it. Next, another brush that I wanted to talk about is the Wet n Wild, I think this is like the large duo fiber brush. I've been really liking this brush to apply my bronzer. I know last month I had like a favorite bronzer brush and I still really, really like that one. It's like the Sonia Kashuk like buffing, blending, whatever brush. So this brush, it's Wet n Wild, so it's super affordable. I think it's like $2 or $3, and it's a large duo fiber brush. It's super soft, and it just makes applying my bronzer just really nice. It's what I use to apply my bronzer today. It just helps it not be such a heavy application, and because it's a duo fiber brush, it really, oh, I have the hiccups. It really just blends the product into the face really nicely, and I really like it. So if you haven't checked out these Wet n Wild brushes, do it. And this is a good one. They're all good. This one's really good. Okay, next I have a lip combo that I've really been enjoying. I've worn this a couple times this month and I really like it. So it is a combination of two affordable lip products, so that's awesome. So first is the Rimmel Lasting Finish Lip Liner in the color Tiramisu, which is kind of like, just like a warm nude shade. So what I do is I line my lips and fill them in with this. And these lip liners are really awesome. They're nice and creamy, they're very pigmented, they don't over dry your lips. I like using these lip liners just all over the lips and then kind of like substituting it as lipstick. Like you don't even have to put anything over it. So I line my lips and fill them in with this all over. And then I'll take the Colourpop Ultra Matte Lip in the color Shimmy, which is like on its own a very cool toned, like pink. But what I'll do is in like the center of my lips, I'll kind of like dab this. I'll dab this in the center of my lips, and then just with like my finger, I will blend it out. And it just creates like this really like beautiful matte kind of like pinky nude shade that kind of is like your lips but prettier. Like your lips but more cool toned, I guess. Because like my natural lip color is more of like a warmer pinky, you know, like most people's natural lip color. But like the two blended together just make a really pretty matte lip shade. And I think it's really flattering for like everyday type of color. Okay, next up I have a couple of highlighters that I wanted to talk to you about, and these are another affordable option, and they're technically not face highlighters, but I use them as face highlighters. These are the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows. I have two colors that are really perfect for highlight shades. One is Iced Latte, and then the other one is Eternal Sunshine. So these L'Oreal Infallible shadows are awesome. They're like $6 or $7, depending on where you get them. And they're just like these little pressed like pigments. And they have like a huge range of colors. I'm pretty sure I've talked about these on my channel before, but they're really soft to the touch, nice and buttery, and they're really pigmented. Like kablam, right? Iced Latte, which is this one, is what I have on my cheekbones today. So there's Iced Latte, and then Eternal Sunshine. So Iced Latte is more of like a really bright like champagne shade, and then the Eternal Sunshine is more on the gold side, but it's still just, it's pretty buttery, it's very soft, really easy to apply to the cheeks. Obviously these are made to be eyeshadows, so they're really good for the eyes as well. So I wanted to do a little comparison. So this is Becca's Champagne Pop. So, oh, the actual L'Oreal ones are a little brighter. Let me build this guy up a little bit. So these two are the L'Oreal Infallible shadows. This is Iced Latte and this is Eternal Sunshine. And then this right here is Champagne Pop. So, I mean, do with those swatches what you will. But I mean, these are really awesome, affordable options, because this is like $38 and this is like $7. I mean, I know the colors aren't like dupes or anything, but as far as like an affordable drugstore highlight option, if you really want to like get into highlighting, but you don't know where to start, you don't want to like invest too much money and then like it not work out for you or whatever, try these L'Oreal Infallible shadows because they're popping. All right, next up I have a blush. I believe I used this in a tutorial sometime this month, but every time I've done my makeup, I've used this blush. And it's something that I've had for quite a long time, actually. I've had this for like almost a year, and it's just been living in my drawer, and I never use it because it's a loose powder blush as opposed to like a pressed blush, which, I mean, those are so much easier, they're more convenient, they're less messy. With powder blushes, they can tend to be like very pigmented and a little intimidating. But I busted this out just because I was like, you know what, I haven't used this sucker in a while, like let's just use it. And it is so pretty. So, oof, did you see that like cloud of powder? So there you can kind of get an idea of like what it looks like. Let me get a little swatchy swatch for you. So there it is right there. It's kind of like a muted, glowy, rosy, warm blush. It's what I'm wearing on my cheeks right now. And it's just, it's so pretty. Like, I don't know, I feel like swatching the back of my hand is not as pretty as when you apply it to the face. Like when I put it on my cheeks, I'm just like, oh man, this blush is beautiful. If I didn't say what the name of it was, sorry. This is Golden Gate, and this is by Bareminerals. This is a Bareminerals blush in Golden Gate. And Bareminerals is like not super expensive as far as like makeup sold at Sephora. And like I think that these blushes are like 23 bucks or something like that. And I mean, yeah, 20 bucks for a blush is like kind of pricey, but I mean, when you're talking about like Sephora, like a Marc Jacobs blush is like $50. But you get so much product in here. Like there's so much, and you really just need like, you know what I mean? Like you just need the tiniest amount. And it is super, super pretty. It's very soft, it's very blendable, and it's just, it really adds like warmth and like a nice goldeny, you know, rosy flush to the face. It's very beautiful, and I've been wearing it every time that I've worn makeup this month. Okay, next up is probably no shock to anyone, but it is the Morphe 350 palette. I've been using this like non-stop. I think I've used this eyeshadow palette every time I've done my makeup except for once the past month. Like I can't stop using it. I mean, look, like let's just take a moment to admire how beautiful this palette is. Like just like the deep oranges and the yellows, and then this like baby puke color that is so beautiful, and the shimmers, and this is like such a gorgeous brow bone highlight, and it's like, it's so pretty. I just can't stop using it. Of course, it's what I have in my eyes right now. I have a mixture of like these three colors in my crease with this guy all over my lid, which is like, you could just die. This is like such, like, are you dead? It's so pretty. And then, like I said, this guy right here, and this like matte white is like such a good matte white. It's like, and it's like my kind of matte white because it's not stark white. It's more of like a bone cream color, which is my favorite. And then this one right here, which is right next to it, is such, anyway. And this shade right here is such a stunning brow bone highlight. Like, it just, it's so pretty. There's like such an endless combination of looks you can do with this palette. And it's perfect for fall, obviously, because it's like warm neutrals, and I'm obsessed and can't stop using it. All right, next up, I have a couple of random favorites. So if you didn't know already, I think I've said it in like every single video that I've done in the past like month and a half, but I'm pregnant and I just hit 9 weeks today. Woohoo! Or the day that this goes up is 9 weeks. And I have been caffeine deprived. Like if you know me, like coffee equals life. Like I love coffee. I love having my morning cup of coffee. Like it was like, it's been such a major part of my daily routine. And I know that probably seems like so lame, but you know, whatever, don't judge me. Like for the past like 5 or 6 years, like first thing in the morning, I wake up, I make myself a cup of coffee. It doesn't matter like if I have to be somewhere, if I don't have to be somewhere, it doesn't matter what time I wake up, whether it's like 4 in the morning or like noon, wake up, have a cup of coffee. That's just been like my life. And obviously being pregnant, I cannot do that. It's very devastating and sad. And so I've been trying to transition into the world of tea. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like there are teas that I enjoy, chai mostly, but I can't have that either because it's caffeinated. Sorry, I'm just a big fat whiner. But there are 2 teas that I have been having as like my substitute in the morning, and I've really been enjoying them. So if you are a tea drinker and you're not big on caffeine, or if you are also pregnant and are like on the struggle bus with me and not being able to have caffeine, then give these 2 guys a try. You might like it. So the first is by the Celestial Seasonings brand, and it is the Caramel Apple Dream Tea. I'm assuming this is like obviously seasonal because it's fall, and this caramel apple is kind of like a seasonal sounding beverage. But so in here you just get, they also have a cinnamon apple spice, which sounded really good, but I went with this one instead. So they come in these like big squares, and it smells so good. It really does. Like, if you've ever had a caramel apple spice from Starbucks, which is like steamed apple juice with cinnamon dulce and caramel syrup on top, that's what this smells and tastes like. It's so good. It's so good that I don't have to add anything to my tea. I don't have to doctor it. I don't have to add sweetener or honey or squat. Like, this tea by itself, let me shake it around some more, is delicious. So I got mine at Walmart. I'm sure you can get this brand at any grocery store, but if you see this, try it. It's delicious. All right, next is kind of a lot of work, but if you have these ingredients at home, I definitely recommend giving it a try because it's delicious. So, now that we're in like the fall, getting into winter, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but peppermint mocha is a big thing. So I decided to create my own peppermint mocha. So when I found out that I was pregnant, I went out and bought peppermint tea. I got this kind. It's the Bigelow Plantation Mint Classic, all natural, whatever tea. It's, oh shit, this has caffeine in it. What? Peppermint tea is supposed to have no caffeine. It says it has the same amount of caffeine as black tea, which is just one step below coffee. Oh no. Well, I'm allowed to have a little caffeine. Well, crapola. Anyway. Ugh. Revelations. Okay, anyway, let me just tell you about what I've been doing. So, anyway, when I found out that I was pregnant, I found out that peppermint tea is really good for like nausea and like settling your stomach and blah, blah, blah. So is ginger tea, but to me, ginger is disgusting. So I went out and I got peppermint tea. Clearly I got the wrong kind because I know that peppermint tea is supposed to be caffeine free, but apparently not this one. So what I do is I make a cup of tea and I put this little bad boy in there, let it steep for, you know, however long you let it steep. Then I bust out some good old cocoa powder. This is just the Nestle Toll House cocoa. It's just 100% pure cocoa. It's unsweetened, so this ain't gonna sweeten up your coffee, but it will like give it like a chocolatey flavor. So I'll take like a little baby scoop of this and dunk it in my tea, stir it up, and then I'll take like one packet of Sweet and Low or whatever, and then stir that in there, and then top it off with just a little bit of milk. And it tastes kind of like a peppermint mocha or like a peppermint hot chocolate or whatever from Starbucks. So it kind of like tricks my brain into thinking that I'm having like a delicious cup of like seasonal coffee, but I'm not. I can't believe there's caffeine in here. Like, I feel so stupid. I guess that's why you should read the back and stuff before you buy it. Okay, and then last up is my favorite moment of the month. And my favorite moment of the month is definitely when I had my first sonogram appointment last week, and we got to see our little baby. If I can, I'll insert a picture so you can see. It looks like a little gummy bear, our little peanut. It was very, very exciting, very emotional. Like, I am a very anxious woman, and like the morning of, like I was totally freaking out and I had like kind of a mini panic attack, and my husband is such an amazing man and he like totally calmed me down, but I like kind of freaked out and was like bawling my eyes out like, oh my god, we're gonna get there and they're gonna tell me that I have like some incurable disease and my baby is gonna be sick, and then our baby, we're not gonna be able to see it because it's not gonna be in there because I'm like having hysterical pregnancy, or like I'm crazy, like I'm a little nuts. And sometimes my anxiety like makes my brain think of very crazy things. So like we got there and I was like kind of freaking out, but you know, we were able to get into the room and I met, you know, like my team, and they were all very lovely and nice, and then it was time for the sonogram part, and like, you know, husband's sitting here and we're holding hands and we're looking at the tiny little screen, and it was just so cool. Like when it came into focus and then you can see like the, you know, like my uterus, I guess, like to be very blunt, you could see like the little bean shaped thing, my little sack or whatever. And then you just saw this tiny little nugget of a baby. And like, I was really excited because I know for most women, they have their first sonogram appointment a little earlier in the pregnancy, and their first sonogram, it literally just looks like a blob. Like it looks like a little like chicken nugget. Like literally it looks like nothing. It looks like a bean. But ours, like it looked like a tiny sort of little baby. Like we could tell that like that was the head, and we got to see its little arms and at least 1 foot. So my baby's got at least 1 foot, and it was moving around and like shaking and a little dancing and stuff. And it was like so, oh, it was so cool, so surreal, like knowing that that's inside me right now. Like that's just so neat. Like I'm growing a person. There's a baby, tiny little person inside of me. And that's just very cool. So anybody else experience that? Have any of you been pregnant? Your first sonogram? Let me know how you felt during your first sonogram. Like, I bawled my eyes out, obviously. Like, I was like totally crying, and I was like, that's our baby, even though it's like this big. But it was very cool. It was very, and it was like relief, because it was like, okay, there's a baby in there. I'm not just crazy. But I mean, obviously there was a baby in there. There was not gonna be a baby in there. So that was definitely my like kind of magical, special moment of the month. And I'm sure it was that same way for my husband. It was just very cool, very, very exciting. So the next time I get to see my little bean will be in December. So a very, very little baby bean. So it's funny, we were looking at like fruit comparisons this morning, and this week my baby is the size of a grape, so we kept calling it my grape baby. My little grape baby. My grape baby has arms and eyes, and my little grape baby. I know, I'm weird. So anyway, this completes my monthly favorites. I really hope that you enjoyed. What have been your favorites this month? I would like to know. Have you tried any of these things? Do you love any of these things? Do you hate any of these things? Let me know down below. I, of course, will list everything that I talked about down below, along with where else you can find me on the internet, my Instagram, pregnant brain, my Instagram, my Snapchat, and my Twitter. I will list down below for you as well. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I really appreciate it. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. If you haven't seen my first impression video on this, I will link it down below. But do you hear that? What is that? What is that? Shut up, shut up. I had my iPad plugged in and it was like beeping at me. It's obsessed. Ooh. Like this color though, like look at it. Look at how pretty it is. Oh.